Hello everyone and welcome to World of Mike. We've got a brand new build, ladies and gentlemen, and this is the HMS Bounty Admiralty model brought to you by D'Agostini. Now, some of you know I've been waiting to do this for quite some time, ever since seeing it on Mega Nico's channel, and yeah, finally we can now do it. And it's a very interesting build because this is built in a shipyard, so you get a frame round the actual edge of it as you're building it, and it's a very interesting build. So basically in this session we'll be covering obviously phases 1 to 8, which is like shipyard, the keel, the main frame, frame A, frame B, frame 1, gun carriage and cannon and culverin. There is quite a lot to do. There's gluing involved, which obviously we do have to wait to set, so we will be breaking this down into segments. This is going to be coming to the channel on a, I'm not entirely sure yet, but it will be as and when I can fit it in. But basically, as you can see, these are the sections here. Then it goes into like a tool, all the little different tools that you need to get in here. So like modelling hammer, cutter with interchangeable blades, vinyl glue, carbonite glue for metal parts, small clamp, hacksaw, tweezers, scissors, clips and set rubber bands, modelling files, square and round modelling brushes, drills with thin bits and abrasive sponge. And remember I said that I needed a hacksaw for a different build? Well, that's what it is. So little hacksaw there. I actually got this from the pound shop. Trial and error. If it don't work, I'll invest in a different one. But I don't like paying too much for tools. Okay, then we're going to be working on the shipyard to support the ship structure. As you can see, you sort of build a little like subframe for it, if you like, shipyard, and then I suspect after that we deconstruct it. And as I've said, I've never worked on a build like that before, so that is very, very, very interesting, and I'm very excited to it. So in this sort of stage, it gives you the top view and lower view, and then obviously the red highlighted parts are contained in pack 1, the 3 pieces of the baseboard, 107, 108 and 109, the feet and the guides for keel support. And then obviously we're going to be working on gluing that together, which is going to be what we're going to do in this stage today. And then obviously it says to turn it upside down to then put 2 support beams in. Obviously I'm not going to do that until that's set. We need to let that set. So this is going to be a very interesting build. Never have I before had to build I work on Titanic, I work on Bismarck, I work on Black Pearl. I've never had to do a build that's in a shipyard, so I'm very excited about this. But obviously this is your PDF. They don't provide PDF, they don't provide printouts, so if you want to print this, the best advice I can give to you is get HP Instant Ink, because you can print quite a lot and you get unlimited ink. Don't go to Argos and pay £13 a cartridge. You're not going to get very far with them. So because the HP Instant Ink cartridges are bigger than the XL, and they're bigger than the the small size, so, and even bigger than XL. But yeah, today we're basically going to be glue boarding 107 and 108 together, and then there's obviously show where to put vinyl glue. Always clean glue in excess with a damp cloth when you glue parts together, and wait for the glue to dry before proceeding. Now obviously if we look up here, it says to use vinyl glue for wooden parts. I'm not going to use vinyl glue. I'm quite happy to use Gorilla Glue. So that is basically what we're going to be doing in this session. And as you can see, some of these packs are like 1 to 48 pages long, so your best bet is to get instant ink, and then you're going to save quite a lot of money. But these are the parts. It actually came in a block like that. So I think we need to make an incision. I don't know if we're going to be using these at the moment, but this is what I've got that for. But we'll just have to wait and see. And yeah, so just have to wait and see in this. But yeah, so these are obviously the little metal. Oh, how unusual! What? That's a weird packet. But they're sort of like stapled and then rolled up there. So interesting. We won't be using them yet. Feels like I'm working in a warehouse, because this is the sort of that plastic stuff is the sort of stuff you get in a warehouse. We're not going to be using them today, so I'm going to keep them firmly shut, but you can see that there's parts in there, and we'll tackle that at a later date. And then it looks as if in here, these are obviously the boards that we've got to use, but you see that we've got these support beams. They're going to be the ones that we use in a different issue. So I'm going to use I'm going to cut that off there, and that feels like that. This is very similar to, yeah, that feels very similar to the Black Pearl. So then we've got a little piece here that's extremely tiny, so we'll put that there for the minute. These are obviously the two parts that I assume we're going to be using, because we've got a third part here, but we'll go into that later on. These are the parts we're going to do in phase 2, which will be whenever I can get round to doing it. They're obviously the support beams, and then we're going to use parts 107 and 108. Now if you look upside down, you can see on here that it's actually sort of engraved there for you. So this is 108, and then the next part we've got is they're saying to use 107, which is that part. We're not going to be using 109 here today, so obviously, yeah. So what we need to do is basically glue the red areas shown. So basically they've got it so that we've got, let's have a look here. So yeah, the numbers are facing downwards, and then they basically want it so it's like that. So 107 and 108, and basically we're going to glue down here. Now this is where we're going to obviously have to establish, do we leave it and glue it like that, or do we pick it up and clamp it so that it's got that extra support? What I've also done is I've also bought these, which are some brushes, Fluxol glue brush apparently, and you get them in a pack of 10. So as you can see, they're nice high quality brushes for gluing apparently, so I just went with these. As I said, I don't like to spend loads on things, so yeah, I got quite a few there, so could come in handy with some of the stuff on the doll's house. But yeah, so we'll put that there. And yeah, so basically we've got to glue all along here. Now obviously this is trial and error, I'm going to see how we go, and yeah, we'll have to just wait and see, I'm afraid, and see what happens. Okay, so I'm going to take this off. Now I can see that the glue's right down there. So this is obviously, I mean, this will work. It doesn't necessarily have to be vinyl, because this is wood glue as well. But basically, I'm assuming they want us to just paint this on all the way down here. Get as much glue. Been waiting to do this nearly all week, but other things have got in the way of it, like diamond painting and stuff like that. So that's obviously the glue, and then I'm going to put a little splodge on here as well. We can always clear this off if need be. You know, this is basically PVA in water. So a nice big splodge on there, but you don't want too much. So basically they want it so that this is gluing like that. Now this is where it sort of wonders, you know, do we clamp it or do we see how it goes for the minute? Obviously we've got some excess there, which we can just, I think I'll leave that there, because what I can do with that is that will create like a seal, and then I can just peel off the excess where needs be. But yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some clampage. It's probably going to fall off, but if we do that there, at least it's going to have a clamp on it. Ooh. Yeah, I think it's probably best to clamp this. You see what happens then, and then that gives it a little bit of extra reinforcement there. Cool, this is definitely an experience, I have to say. I mean, obviously, if this doesn't work, then we'll go to plan A and we'll let it, you know, set it on its own way, you know. But my plan of action is that maybe what I'm going to do is if I can't use that. I want something to go underneath here. This probably isn't the best way of doing it, but as I said, this is trial and error. I've never really done a shipyard before, so this is quite all new to me. Because this is more like a seesaw, isn't it? So what we need is like something alleviating under it. Right, I think what I'm going to do, I'm not happy with this because it's just going to bend. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the clamps off. And we'll just, as you can see, it's just going to fall off. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a little bit more on that and we'll just leave it how they've got it. So I'm not fussed about if there's, you know, any leakage. You know, these brushes are great. Quite like working with these, they're great. So I'll put some more glue on there. If it doesn't stick, then it doesn't stick. But remember that we haven't got the supports in yet, so we need the supports to put in there. But they're saying that we have to turn this over, so of course we're going to have to leave it to set for a bit. So yeah, I mean, it's a shame that this clamp here doesn't go from there, like from the end of this right the way down to there, because that would be great to clamp it, to compress it, but it is what it is. Maybe there's a long one that I can look into, but yeah. So that's where we are at the moment. What I might do is I might just brush away the excess. I'll just put them in there. Might just brush away this excess. What I'm doing here is I'm just going to paint that over like a seal, because that will create a seal. I mean, they say to move it, but it's only a shipyard, so I can easily peel all that off if need be. But it will just create like a little seal for it. But yeah, we'll see. That's already starting to really harden, but I'm happy with that. I mean, we can do a bit of cleanage afterwards if need be, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. So yeah, that is that so far. I'm just gonna get my brushes out because I'm gonna have to clean all this. I have got another bottle of this, but I don't know where I've put it. So yeah, so that is the Bounty issue 1 so far, or phase 1 if you like. Yeah, and obviously, as I said, I was inspired to do this by a chap called Mega Nico, and yeah, since seeing him do it, I was like, well, I really like that. But yeah, so we're going to have to let that dry, and then obviously in phase 2, what we will do is the next session is going to be the session where we're going to be basically putting in here, because it does say boards 107 and 108 glued together, but then obviously turn upside down the 2 boards you have just glued together, detach pieces 1 and 2 from board 110, glue them, fixing glue on the red highlighted parts. So obviously these beams are going to obviously go, I assume, in that one, and then that one and that one. Now obviously we can't turn this over yet because we need to allow that to glue, and obviously my videos I don't edit. I like to, you know, I like to do it how I see it. So I used to edit them, but I don't do that anymore because it was too much hassle. But yeah, basically we need to allow that dry. My concern is it may break away after we do it, but this is pretty, I mean, this is Gorilla Glue the best, 100% tough, so incredibly strong. So yeah, but yeah, we're finally getting the Bounty shipyard together. So I have to say, I think this is my first wooden ship that I've actually shown before on YouTube. Never really tackled a wooden ship on camera before, so it's all about testing your skills as well for me. But yeah, that's that. So I'll join you on phase 2 pack 1 a little bit later on next week. Take care, guys. Bye bye.